Beyond Meat just shocked the market. Now, the short interest had plummeted to 14%, super low from where it was before, 60% plus. And if you're wondering whether the short squeeze is going to come or not, or whether the stock is a safe buy right now, or whether you should sell out of the stock, stick around because I'll break down in simple terms what is exactly happening to BYND stock. Now, here's the data on Beyond Meat's short float, which is how many shares out there are being bet against, and that percentage of shares out there that are being bet against right now against the stock is about 14.5%. That is down from crazy high levels this year. We know that this year there has been anywhere between 60 to 100+% for short float percentages, and this is an insane drop from the amount that we've seen in the past couple of days. Short shares available are about 5.5 million. Short interest is about 51.8 million shares, and the days to cover are about 0.07. In addition to this, the borrow rate is about 8.3, and that's how much it costs per year for a short to take on a short position. At first glance, a big drop like this looks like shorts are disappearing, but that isn't the entire full story. Now, there's a few reasons that the percentage can drop extremely fast. The float could increase, meaning that the company could have issued new shares. So even if the same amount of number of shares are being shorted, that percentage could drop. If Beyond Meat wanted to raise more money, then they could just issue more shares out there, and then you will see this percentage drop as well as Beyond's money go up. So it's a good thing for the business, bad thing for a short squeeze. There could be shorts covering. That means that some traders have closed their positions, reducing their short interest and just saying, I don't want to be part of this anymore, and I want to get out of this position and not lose as much money because I don't think that the stock will keep going down. Now, it could be a data source or timing. Different sites calculate float differently, so numbers do tend to jump around. And if I spent a while to try to look for numbers, like what is a short interest today? But it seems that Fintel over here is just giving me 14.5. Everywhere else is about the same, but you don't see data as soon as now, and you see data all the way back to like October 15th. So I think this is the most accurate, up-to-date data. And if there's another percentage out there, let me know, because I haven't been able to find any. So in short, it doesn't necessarily mean that the shorts ran away. It could be that the math is changing under the hood. Those are just some of the reasons as to why the short percentage could drop here. And what does this mean for a squeeze? A true short squeeze really means that there needs to be a high amount of short interest and low days to cover. Beyond's 14.5 short interest and 0.07 days to cover really mean that shorts can cover almost instantly. There's not much fuel for a massive squeeze. Price spikes would literally come as news and hype fall into this stock, and they're not really forced to start short covering. So if you're hoping for a crazy squeeze, it's probably not coming right now. So if you look at Reddit here, people are betting against and for the stock left and right. You see the side where they say keep holding, keep buying. The other side says, bro, just cut the losses, which is why there is a market, right? There's people that think the stock is going to go up. There's people that think the stock's going to go down. So then you reach an equilibrium to create a market. And that's what is exciting today. Now, this person put in 50,000. It went all the way up to 92,000. And then now it's worth 32,000. So they've lost about almost 40% of their position. If you really look through all these posts, you see just this guy says, this Beyond investor put his entire life savings into this $55,000 and he's still holding. But he does make an interesting case here. He says that, hey, I'm like a retail investor from South Korea, and basically I bought 55K at $7, which is my entire life savings. Now it's trading at about $2. It's still about $2 and it hurts, and I'm still here. And after he's done quite a bit of lurking around and watching some news, he's accepted that $7 might never come back, if anytime soon. So he's made the decision that he's giving up, and if the world forgets Beyond Meat, then we, quote unquote, the shareholders, will bring it back. And he promises that if the stock gets to $10, he will fly to California, visit Beyond Meat headquarters, live stream the Beyond Burger tasting, and at $20, he'll meet the CEO and help a Beyond store open up in Korea. At $30, he'll host a Beyond Day festival and 100 long-term holders. So that is going to be a festival that he's going to host with just 100 people. There's probably more than 100 people involved that are going to be interested. But at $50, he'll create a limited time Beyond recipe and share it with the investors. At $100, he'll produce a Beyond Believers documentary. And at $200, he will host a global Beyond gathering, Beyond Feast. Now, he says this isn't about money anymore. It's about proving the belief. The community, the brand, that can survive anything. And if you believe in Beyond, repost this, whatever, keep it alive. And it's kind of like saying, hey, we can do this together. I think this is insane because you see somebody that is basically holding the bag and trying to get other people to join, which is going to happen regardless. But this is a more interesting way of going about being a bag holder, because you could be a bag holder, just tell everybody to hold and buy, or you can make a mission out of your life. Now this, I gotta applaud. Though he might not ever make his money back because Beyond Meat has terrible fundamentals and they're declining as a company. He says he'll bust a mission to California to try the Beyond Burger. And I think that's, if it hits $20, I don't think he'll actually be able to meet the CEO unless the CEO is actually open to like a PR conference or conversation with him. But if that happens, I feel like that's interesting. That is like streamer academy to the next level, where people like just join for the motion, like join for the entertainment and whatever that can follow after. Another guy that says this is also a lot cooler than other posts saying just hold. And I agree. I gotta say, this is actually pretty interesting, though he'll probably never see $7 unless a short squeeze happens again. But given that, if the data is correct, at 14.5%, it seems that a short squeeze might be not probable at this time. But yeah, this is super interesting to see. You have other investors here saying, anyone else holding Beyond, I'm down so much, I'm never selling. And it's the bag holders like this is why a company will either want to keep going down or two, maintain at where it's at, because you need a lot of selling pressure to get the stock down more. And we're going to talk about like what the stock can go to next in a little bit here. Another guy a day ago says Beyond is getting prepared for the next coming short squeeze. And there's been people that have been comparing Beyond Meat to GameStop, saying that this is the drawdown before the entire pump. But honestly, who knows, right? Like nobody will be able to predict where the stock will go from here. Given all of the facts, it seems that the float is low. It seems that it is a dying company. It seems that there is not a product that people are actually wanting currently to increase the sales of this company. And that is what is going to drive the long-term stock price of Beyond. Short-term fluctuations, this can go anywhere. You could see this as low as a couple of cents to a couple of dollars above where it is today. You could probably see it $10 or higher if there is an irrational movement within the stock. Nobody will be able to predict where Beyond Meat stock will go. So if you hold any shares, do make sure that you are okay with losing 100% of that value in case Beyond Meat does go belly up. And any money that you put into there is essentially casino money, the money that you're willing to lose. Imagine that all of that money is just thrown out the window, lit on fire, because that is essentially what you are doing now if you are a shareholder. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I do have a $4 cost basis on like 800 shares, which I'm down like 50% on, but it's less than like 2% of the portfolio. So this is like an extremely stupid thing to go into, riding it for the movement, and to justify any larger of a position than what it is today would just be bonkers, silly, ridiculous, irrational, and very irresponsible. So given that this was something that is fun, that you do once in a while, that you know that 80 to 90% of the time you're probably going to lose money on, but there's that like chance that you could make money on and be part of this movement and just ride it up higher and sell it at a gain. Now, I really don't care if this goes to $0 or $10. Well, I'll care if it goes to like 10 because like I was like, oh, that's cool, I made money. But in theory, all of this money that's in here is essentially lost. Zero money to me. Like I have come to terms that I have lost 100% of this position, if not already 50%. And now I'm faced with the decision of, do you want to realize 50% losses to write off the gains of this year? Or do you want to just be part of the movement to hopefully get this stock back to where it is? Maybe you just trim half. I don't know. And that's the art of investing. And that's the art of gambling, right? This is essentially a mix of the two. But realistically, it's just more on the gambling side rather than intrinsically value a company to find out what kind of return you're going to get in the future, because it's not a profitable company. And that is the reality. So if there's anything to learn from this, especially something that I would learn myself, is that these kind of plays, these kind of fast moving plays don't always work out, especially if you're just a regular common guy with no insider knowledge and you just want to have fun. If you just want to have fun, go to the casino. It's probably going to be more fun spinning a roulette wheel or playing a game, because this is less fun unless you want to be part of a great or not great community, however you look at it. But that is my spiel on owning the stock in general. Now, where can the stock go? Currently, it's about $2 right now, and it looks like we've actually dropped a little bit to this kind of support level of $1.80, but it is climbing back up to where it was previously at around $2. And I don't know what happens to the stock after this. Will it go up to the next leg, like $2.40, or will it drop down all the way to like 50 cents? I don't know. I've seen price targets of like $3, but how can you really trust a price target? I don't know. You can't really trust a price target on any company that you see out there. It's just more of like, what is going to drive the business? It's going to be momentum, hype, or if this earnings release comes out and they give good guidance that they're actually improving the business, that could actually push the stock higher. If you see there's been a lot of traction, and management says, oh, there's been a lot of traction around the Beyond Meat products, especially Beyond Burgers. Given in the past month or two, they've got a lot of names, right? I'm sure during the GameStop phase, people could have gone to GameStop or supported GameStop one way, and there is more exposure. So people that never knew what Beyond was now, they could be going out there to try the products, and this could drive sales a little bit. But overall, is the product good? Is it going to last a while? Is there a partnership in the works? I think there's something like a Walmart partnership coming up, but will people buy that product? They've been out there already for a couple of years, but people just don't seem to want to convert to plant-based meat yet. But that is the entire story of Beyond Meat. Will it go up? Will it go down? Who knows? It is an entire roller coaster, so tread very carefully if you own any of this stock. Now, with all of that, Beyond has its risks. Fundamentals are weak, competition is fierce, volatility is high. If you're trading Beyond, treat it as speculative and not a safe long-term investment. Watch the news, earnings, and corporate actions that can affect the float and short interest if you are following the stock very closely. And there you have it. Beyond's short float dropped super fast with a short squeeze not even guaranteed. Now keep an eye out for the float and subscribe for more market catalysts or anything that's going to happen to the stock, because I will report it out here. And hit the like button. Make sure that you are subscribed to find out everything about, what's going to happen in the markets, what stocks I'm investing in, and all of that good stuff. For more stock breakdowns, make sure that you're sticking along for the ride. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.